Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to another video of grandsummoners. Today's video we're gonna go over the crest that you can farm in the collab. But first things first, I am a little sick if you can't tell from the video. I have a sore throat, a runny nose, so hopefully that doesn't disturb a lot of you, but yes, I am in fact sick. But back to the topic, you cannot get the crest on part 1. You can get the 4-star equipment. I suggest getting maybe like 2 copies of this max out, just so you can have it. But just do know you cannot get the crest in part 1. You can only get them in part 2. And this 4-star equip is pretty decent in case you don't have any other physical equips for your dark units or like any other units at all. Now back to this topic right here, you can actually get them in the higher stage. Obviously the higher stage you are, it's not the greatest, right? But it's something. Like, I believe the higher the stage, the higher the drop in a way. Yeah, I can be wrong, but again, these are only ways you can farm these crests. And as you can see, we do have this 4-star magic, right, that reduces the fire res by quite a lot. I suggest getting like 3 of these copies, just because if you do manage to build your fire team, then this equip will be very helpful for you. So it's better to farm like 3 full copies limit break, like full limit break, fully enhanced. This equip will save you a lot of trouble if you're trying to fire nuke. So definitely keep an eye on it. And as you can see here, if you look at the quest, you are able to farm the crest, right? And a lot of these crests are pretty decent. Obviously some of them aren't as good as the other crests that we could farm in GS, because there's no like backdrop. But with these crests there is. The 800 attack up with a 10% HP down, I think that will be very helpful for a lot of units for you to have, or the units you have, you want to have like the best amount of damage. So for example, if you have a dark unit, definitely farm the 800 attack, HP down, and then also the dark damage percentage up. You definitely want to farm those 2, but just keep in mind that mostly any damage dealer, you don't want to have more attack. You actually want to have more of like a crit damage up, or critical damage, crit damage, arcade up. You want to farm those things for units. But again, if you're like a new to play or a new player, definitely want to farm as much of these crests as you can. If you got shadow, obviously you want that the 800 attack up, and then also the percentage up for dark damage. You definitely want to farm that for your dark units. But just keep in mind that if you are able to farm the OG or like the crest that we have in game, then definitely farm that, because this is by chance. And you also want to switch your settings around. You want to switch your settings from like whatever crest you're farming to like any crest. I'll show you this in a second what I mean, but for now, yes, just keep in mind in that, because if you don't do that, then you won't be able to get any of these crests. Even though you'll probably see the drop, you probably won't be able to get them because you didn't change your settings to any crest, because these crests are treated as level 1, not level 2, level 3, no, level 1. They're treated as level 1. So you definitely want to change your settings to any crest. And a lot of these crests are pretty good. I highly suggest just putting them in the units you want to have like a damage dealer. For example, we'll do such something giggles. We're actually gonna try and do this battle, like the high stage, with only shadow, just to showcase. But yeah, again, you want to switch those settings off and go to any crest. That's how you get any of the collab crests. In case there is a collab that comes back, you want to just switch that around and to allow you to obtain a crest. Because if you don't, and you're farming for hours and hours and on end, and not knowing that you can get the crest, or you already got the crest but you can't add it to your unit, that's pretty draining, especially if I know last minute. I would have uploaded this video pretty early, or well, yesterday, but I was feeling terrible. I'm a little okay, but like by the time my video is uploaded, it's probably pretty freaking late, so I apologize for that. As for the equips, definitely farm 2 of each of part 1 and part 2. And then as for the crest, again, all the crests are pretty useful except for the first one, I think. But definitely you want to farm that 800 attack up, Yeah, the backlash on it is like 10% HP down, but for your damage dealers, that shouldn't really be an issue. And especially since it's 800 attack up, it really shouldn't matter. It's like a 4+. It's like a free, literally, in my opinion, it's like a free 4+ for any unit. So you definitely want to slap that on majority of units. For your dark units, obviously with Shadow, you want to farm the 800 attack up and then also the 20% dark damage up. You actually want to farm both of those. The break power up, definitely for your breakers, any breakers like Est, Chloe, you want to farm that for them. In case you don't have need a higher crest, you definitely want to farm that for them. It's a weaker version of Whirlwind, but what can you do, right? It's very budget. I say budget, but it's very easy for new players to get. And also the crest for, what was it skill CT, or no, not skill CT, equipment CT. Definitely farm that for your tanks, as your tanks will need it. And right now we're just facing 1v1 with Alpha, and you can see Shadows is doing his own thing, spamming Atomic. Mind you, I didn't actually think that a Shadow will be alive this long, but yeah, surprisingly he is. Will we win against Alpha? I don't know. Dude, that'd be pretty funny. I actually thought Shadow was gonna die sooner or later, but he didn't, so what can you do, right? But yeah, hopefully this video was able to help you guys out. The crests in part 2 are definitely the only way to farm them. The higher the stage, the higher the drop, but it doesn't guarantee you every single time. It's just by luck, right? Like even I cleared it right with Shadow, but I didn't see a single crest drop. So definitely take your time, right? Take your time, farm it as much as possible, and make sure you're farming for the unit that you want, right? And mind you, you cannot use flux drop. Do not use, and I'm pretty sure you can't even use them for any collab crest. And if you can, that's kind of bullshit, because I'm like 100% sure you can't use them for any collaboration crest. So save your flux drops. And for the crest, again, it's for any units you actually need and need to farm them. But that's about much it of this video. Nothing crazy. I just want you guys to know. Alright, you guys take care, be safe, and stay frosty, y'all. Alright, bye bye.